Hello and welcome to the Remedyfibers podcast, a podcast about knitting and crochet hosted by me, Jillian. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returner, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. So if you missed me last week, I unfortunately and sadly got COVID. You can probably hear my voice is still recovering, and thank goodness I am negative now, but I am having some lingering voice effects as well as some coughing, so I apologize in advance. But thank goodness I am okay now. I am healing. My husband did not get COVID, even though he was taking care of me, and Benny was the best nurse that I could ever ask for. But today I wanted to just come into my apartment and record this episode because I'm tired and it's more comfortable for me to be here. So if you're new here, I live in Northern California. I love to knit and crochet, and I hope to take you along my journey with my crafty adventures. As for finished objects, it took me 2 weeks, and I actually finished this last night, but it's been blocking and drying. It's a little bit damp, but I wanted to wear for the podcast. I finished my Felix cardigan. I am in love with it, and I'll tell you all about it. The good, the bad, what I would do again, what I would not do again right now. So the sweater fits great. The arms are fabulous. The color is great. The only thing that is a downside was when I was picking my skeins, I just grabbed the first 4 skeins that I saw, and I don't think all of them were the same dye lot, because it goes from a light burgundy and then down here is a darker burgundy, and when I noticed it I was already like this far in, and I said, is it that noticeable? I'm just gonna work past it. It's not that noticeable, it's not that big of a deal, but I would have liked a consistent color in the sweater. The other part is the neck part is not as cinched in as I wanted it to be, and the whole time I was knitting the sweater I'm like, it looks kind of like wide in the neck, and I still need to get my cute buttons, but I think ideally I would want a neck fit that kind of is like this, like a more cinched in neck piece. And I don't know if I needed to go down needle size for my neck. I followed the pattern exactly to the T, but this is my first cardigan, so I'm so happy with it. But let me take it off so you can kind of see it a little bit more in depth. So what I love about my Felix cardigan, I really love the feel. It does not have any itch. It feels very comfortable, and most importantly, it feels very warm. This is a worsted Aran type weight, and it is merino wool and alpaca, so definitely going to be helpful for those cold mornings, as well as when it gets a little chillier during the winter season here in California. I really love the length of the sweater. I feel like it's appropriate to wear. It hits right under your jeans or right under your leggings. And the only downside is definitely the color change within the sweater, as well as I think I would have liked a smaller neck circumference and maybe a little bit less room in the stomach area, but at least I can wear maybe another knitted garment or crocheted garment underneath and be really warm. But it took about 2 weeks exactly to finish this sweater, given that 1 week I was out of commission. I could have finished this sooner, but sadly I was not feeling well, and I would definitely 10 out of 10 recommend this pattern. I would knit it again. I feel like the instructions were very clear, very thorough. I just had a learning curve when picking up stitches for the button band, for the front, both front hems and the neck edge. That's an area where I would like to improve on, but I really have fun knitting it, and I definitely see more cardigans in my future, and these accessory pieces would definitely be something that I highly use. Also, it is a hot sweater. It's a wool. As for works in progress, I decided to take a break from any garments, and right now I'm working on my 3rd Clare Garland frog pattern. I started this last night because I was on a cast on frenzy after I cast off my Felix cardigan, and so the green part of the frog is complete. I'm working on the stomach part of it. It's gonna look exactly like the other 2 frogs I made, but I did make an upgrade. I finally purchased appropriate sized eyes, so the 12mm eyes that Clare recommends. I finally have them. I also have other sizes, and I'm stuck with these creepy frog eyes, so I'll talk more about a giveaway at the end of this video, but I think I might gift this away to anyone who wants or prefers realistic frog eyes. So I have 2 packs right now. As for my interchangeable needle set, I just wanted to give an update from my Lykke set. This is the set I bought a couple weeks ago, or maybe it's going on a couple months now, but I'm having a great time using the interchangeable needles. But I really ran into a problem when I went to North Carolina because one of my needles got stuck on the cord, my US 4s, and I have not been able to use that 24-inch cord. I only have one 24-inch cord, and I have not been able to use it for anything, any other patterns. And there were a lot of patterns that I needed it for, and I just could not take it off. And I was really disappointed. I was upset that I got the interchangeable set because I said, why did I spend this money when I can't even unscrew it? So this one unscrews. I'm actually using them for the frog pattern, but this one is stuck, and I've tried everything. It has not been able to come off. So I was really disappointed. I decided to go on their website, see if I can buy a new one, and it turns out that there is a 5-year warranty on the needle set, and you just have to put what store you bought it from. You don't even have to put a receipt, you just put the date. And I sent them a picture and a video of what my issue was, and you're not gonna believe it, they sent me in the mail a 24-inch cord and a US 4, one US 4 interchangeable needle. And I'm so thankful. This was completely free. They saw my video, they saw my picture, and they said, we're sending it on your way. And I got it, I think, within the next week or the same week. The only downside is they sent me a longer needle than what my set is for, so I'll see how I can work around it. But the biggest thing is that I have a 24-inch cord that I can use for different size needles now, and I'm just so happy with it. 10 out of 10 recommend. I also have everything organized. I have been really good with keeping my set organized. I did leave my US 3s at my mom's house in North Carolina by accident, so I'm waiting for that to come back. But now I guess I still won't have a complete US 4 set, but at least I can use the 24-inch cord for the other sizes. So I'm really happy with the company. I'm really happy with my experience, and so far I still recommend the Lykke interchangeable knitting needle set. As for acquisitions, my package from Terrapin came in the mail, and I wanted to open it up with you all, so I still have not opened it, but I'll show you what I got right now, and I'll skip the opening so that you don't have to hear all of that packaging sound. But this is my fabulous package, and I'm so excited. I got in on the Farmers Market Club and the Farmers Market sale that she was having. I don't even think it was a sale. It was the Farmers Market collection. That is the right word. And if you don't know, Terrapin is a plant-based dyer, and she has cotton, tencel, as well as, I can't remember the rest, but you can check out her website to see what else that she sells, and I think she has an upcoming sale coming in September. Okay, so as for what I received for my Terrapin order, I was able to purchase a second skein of the bouquet colorway, so now I have 2 skeins of this fabulous bouquet colorway, and this is in Severn fingering, and I want to make the ranunculus from these 2 skeins. At first I thought one would be enough, but after looking into the pattern a little bit more, I would prefer for it to not be cropped and maybe have a little bit longer of a sleeve. So now I have 2 skeins, and it also came with a fabulous stitch marker. I really loved her stitch marker the last time and still use it now for my current projects. But you know, purple is my color, and I'm really loving the design elements, the little sparkles, the different colors, pinks, greens. It looks gorgeous. The next purchase is a new to me type of yarn, and this is Atlantic fingering. This one is 100% Pima cotton. I have never used Pima cotton before, and this is in the sage colorway. I just really love this color. I feel like this is a great fall color. So I purchased this yarn to make the fantail pattern by Wolden Pine. I really liked Wolden Pine's patterns. They even have a new cable sweater that I have my eye on. It just looks so fancy and elegant, and I've dabbled in cables, but it's something that I want to grow in my comfort zone. This is how the sage colorway looks, and I'm just so happy with it. It looks so gorgeous, beautiful, and I can't wait to see it on me. So that's all I have for acquisitions. I am being conscious of what I have in my stash right now. I think I'm up to 5 projects worth of yarn. So I have the ranunculus, I have the fantail, I have, let me actually pull up my queue because everything in my queue is what I have the yarn for. I want to make a second summer sorrel. I have a yarn for the George's top, and so I only have 4 projects worth of yarn, not 5. And I really want to buy more yarn. I want to make some more raglan sweaters. I want to make more fall pieces for that change in temperature, and I still have time before the temperature starts to drop. But it's really hard when you see everything on Instagram and all of these dyers and fall colors are really gravitating towards me. And when I'm looking at my stash, a lot of my colors are very spring and summery. So I'm just like, I must knit, I must finish all the things so I can get those oranges, those autumn fall leaf colors. I want some red and green because I never even had sweaters like in those colorways before. So I'm just really excited. I definitely see variegated in my future. I think variegated is just so fun. But yeah, I'm trying to be conscious of what I have, what projects I want to knit, and work with what I have before splurging all the dollars. As for splurging all the dollars, for a while now, I have been wanting to get a spinning wheel. It's kind of creeping slowly into my budget, and I finally found someone who sells spinning wheels about an hour for me, and I'm not quite sure if they have you test them, but one that I'm interested in because it is in my price range and it's new is the Polywog by Spinolution, and you can go on their website and see if there's a dealer near you. So I reached out to one, so it might not be anytime soon. Maybe it might be a birthday November type thing. My birthday's in November. But I'm not sure because I know my last spinning wheel, we didn't have a great relationship. I had to assemble it. I assembled it wrong. I had to stain it. I had paint on the carpet. And then because I was learning, it was a learning curve for me. So it was difficult to teach myself. And so there is a spinning class on campus where I work. So I would like to take a spinning class. So I'm trying to see, do I want to take the spinning class first, see if I still enjoy it, is something I still want to invest in, or do I just get the spinning wheel and kind of just go rogue? It is a big investment financially. I tried looking for used spinning wheels, and the Polywog is the cheapest one that I've seen, even used prices for other wheels. And I really want a beginner friendly wheel. I want something that I can learn and grow with, and ultimately I would like to spin sweaters, my own sweaters. That will be why I get the spinning wheel. I definitely have been inspired by Wolden. Sorry if I mispronounce your YouTube name, but I'll put her name below as well as a link to her channel. She spins her own sweaters quantity worth of yarn and has even made sweaters from her own spinning. It's so inspiring. I see all of her reels, and ever since I started watching them, I'm like, I need a spinning wheel. So I blame you for me wanting a spinning wheel now. But it's really fun, and it looks like it's such a great time. And I know that spinning does take a while, it takes time, and it's just something that I've never really got good at or confident in the way that I feel for knitting and crochet. So it's a skill that I definitely want to grow with. So might see a spinning wheel in my future, might see one. Just wait and see. So I have a fabulous announcement, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but we are almost to 500 subscribers on the Remedyfibers podcast channel, and I'm so excited that all of you have been tuning in, checking in, as well as still wanting to watch the channel and the content that I provide. So when we do reach 500 subscribers, I am going to give a giveaway out. I'll explain more of what the giveaway is, but it definitely will be yarn, definitely some local fun things from my area, and this is open to the USA as well as international. So if you want to enter into the 500 subscriber giveaway, comment below what you enjoy most about watching knitting and crochet podcasters, or what you hope to see moving forward from the channel. Some things you would want me to incorporate, or just things you want me to talk about, places you want me to show you, just so that we both can get excited and hopefully reach 1K. That'll be so cool. I won't be able to announce the giveaway until we actually reach 500, but you can comment below as we get there, and I will use all the entries to do one of the random spinner giveaways to see who wins. But I'm so excited that you are here on this journey with me. It's been so fun to share my love for knitting and crochet, for me to get inspired, for you to get inspired, for us to inspire each other, and just have a good pastime in this crazy, very chaotic world that we live in. At least this is a little moment of peace and comfort while we craft together. Something that I wanted to add new to the podcast is something called Knitting in the News, and I wanted to bring some current events articles about the crafting world to you all, because this is something that one of the email chains that I get does. It's really fun to see how knitting and crochet is impacting the world around us, not only in our own interpersonal lives, but also in other communities, other countries, and other places. One article that really grabbed my attention was written by mylondon.news, and the article is called "There Was No One Who Looked Like Us at Our Local Knitting Club, so we started our own group." So 2 black women in London decided to start their own Black Girl Knits Club, and they said every time they would go into yarn stores, there was no representation, and they said, let's put it into our own hands and let's do our own. And so they really cultivated not only a community, but a space where black women can knit, crochet, craft together, as well as have people from all over the USA tune in virtually to their knit clubs. And this is something that I would love to do, really have a BIPOC knitting group where there's a diverse reflection of all of us in a knitting group, and it's just something that will make it feel very wholesome, very welcoming. And last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, someone in our training group says, what does a sense of community look like to you? And I know that I've tried going to knitting groups and there was no one who looked like me. Or you go into yarn stores. I have to take this sweater off, I'm getting really hot. You go into yarn stores and they question your skill set, or they say, do you even know how to use this? And so just really being in a space where you're validated, you're seen. And that's what I really liked about this article. They also have an Instagram page that reached over 10,000 followers on Instagram, so I'll put their information below. But it was just very inspiring, something that I hope to do in the future, whether it's a yarn store, whether it's a yarn group, just a group where the diversity is really there and everyone feels like their gifts and their talents are welcome and appreciated. The last article that I wanted to bring to your attention was written by laughingsquid.com, and the article is called Knitting for the Neighborhood, Official Knitting Patterns from the Beloved Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So I don't know about you, but I did grow up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It was just such a wholesome, very kind, welcoming show. I don't know if there's any controversies on it. I didn't do my research that far, because you know how them 90s and early 2000s shows be. But I just really like Mr. Rogers' show, and he has there's a pattern page, there's a pattern book called Knitting in Their Neighborhood, and they have the little sweaters, they have the little trolley, the lion and the little king, and it's just so cute. Something that I would, of course, like to look into more. I'm not sure if I would knit anything from it, but they have a cardigan, they have the little Daniel striped tiger puppet, and it just seems like a good childhood memory, something that I find a lot of enjoyment in, knitting childhood-like things. Like, I definitely need to go to Michael's and get me some Halloween yarn, because I want to make some Halloween amigurumis. I don't know why I have that in my head. It just seems so adorable. Well, that's all that I have for this week. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Apologies for my voice not being 100% working, but I'm so happy that I'm feeling better and I'm recovering slowly. I hope that you and your family are happy, healthy, and safe. I hope to see you next week, and don't forget to comment below if you want to enter into the 500 subscriber giveaway, what you enjoy from watching crafting podcasts, or what you hope to see from the channel. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.